I've read a couple of really good books recently that I would like to share with you. And also, I've lowered my Goodreads goal. So in the month of August, I only finished 4 books. I say only, I still think that's a pretty good number of books to have read. And for the last few months, I just haven't been keeping pace to read my annual goal of 85 books this year. I pulled that number out of nowhere anyways. It's just a goal that I decided to put in place. And now, since I was, I think, 13 books behind, I've decided to reduce it and make my goal 75 books. So now I'm only 5 books behind, which feels much more achievable to catch up to. I think sometimes we get a little ambitious with our reading goals and get distracted with trying to hit a number, that it keeps us from picking up maybe the books that we would most want to pick up or things that we'd be more excited to read to kind of help with that number. And I don't want to do that. So I lowered my goal after I picked up a very large book that I randomly wanted to read, and I was so happy with that decision. And I also read a 650-page book faster than I've been reading shorter books. So it's working out for me. I'm excited for my new goal, and I'm excited to tell you that book that I read because I think I'm in my Stephen King era this year. I read The Long Walk a few months ago, loved it, had a great time. Now I just finished Christine. I randomly picked this up on audio first. I know this sounds weird, but I picked it on audio because it was available from the library and I needed some sound to help me fall asleep. Not sure why I gravitated towards horror, but it was available. I started it and I was like, ooh, actually, I want to read this for real, not just have it for background noise. So I picked it up and I've been loving it. I love my vintage covers that came out last year, I think. And I want to keep collecting those for the books that I'm interested in. But Christine, I gave this book 5 stars. It's definitely the best book that I read in August. I love it. I've read maybe 10 Stephen King books now, and this is my first 5-star read. I've seen the potential, but I hadn't been picking up like his most famous, most beloved works yet. I don't think this is one of his most beloved, but it worked for me. I really enjoyed it. I think some people don't like cars or don't think like a haunted car is scary, but I thought this book was so good. So this book follows 2 best friends, Dennis and Arnie. Dennis is driving down the road one day and Arnie tells him to stop because he sees a car and he instantly falls in love with it. That car is Christine, which is a 1958 Plymouth Fury. It is busted, beat up, rotting in some guy's front yard. But Arnie loves it. He wants it. He overpays for it because he just has to have it. This book is set in the late 70s. So it's a 20-year-old car. And Arnie says he's going to fix it up. But this car causes a lot of problems for him. First off, overpriced. Second, he doesn't have anywhere to keep it. His parents won't let him keep it at the house. Nobody wants to see that on the road. He has to pay a bunch of money to like keep it in a shop. The shop that he's keeping it in has shady people there. All these things. But Arnie is obsessed. He's in love with this car. Dennis, his best friend, gets weird vibes from it. The car's a little creepy. The car gives him weird feelings. He kind of sees like a vision when he sits in it of how it used to look, and the car's kind of like trying to seduce him, like, let's go for a ride. He's like, what the if it's happening? I don't like it. And a lot of people in Arnie's life hate the car, and Arnie's just upset that nobody like likes what he likes. Nobody is like happy for him. But Arnie starts to change now that he has his car, Christine. And then Christine starts to change, and then bad stuff starts happening. There's death, there's mayhem, there are some like fun, scary moments, and then we have like a battle with the car. It's really good. I thought it was so good. The fact that I gave this 5 stars just gives me so much hope and makes me want to pick up so many Stephen King books. I have like a list that I am interested in reading. And this was so much fun. I read this book so quickly, and look how long it is. Oh, it was such a good time. I loved the setting. I really enjoyed the car stuff, but I really enjoyed the friendship. I enjoyed like the look at obsession, and the horror parts were fun. There is a part set over Christmas. I love to find like a seasonal read. So if you're looking for a Christmassy horror, it's only a small part, but this would count if you're looking for something to read on Christmas. So yes. 5 stars, Love this one. I also picked up Rivers of London by Ben Aaronovich, I want to say. This is set in London. It's so British in such a fun way. So we are deep in the heart of London, following a police constable named Peter. And Peter is out on a job. He's like a beat cop in the beginning, and some sort of crime happens where he is on site, like patrolling, or I don't know, securing the scene. And a guy comes up to him and tells him, like, I saw who did it. It was this guy. And then his face changed and he disappeared. That one sounds weird. And then the guy who tells him that turns out to be a ghost. So Peter gets introduced to the supernatural world. And then after being a police constable for 2 years, they get assigned to like a department, and he's going to be in like the admin paper pusher department, which he's sad about. But then I guess since he has a supernatural encounter, instead a wizard in the police force takes him under their wing as like an apprentice, helps him study magic, learn spells, and he's going to become a wizard. So that's very exciting. This is the beginning of a series that I'm very intrigued by, because I think it's just going to get better from here. This wasn't my favorite book, but I had a really good time reading it. I love magic. I love detective. I love London. And the book just felt super British, like authentically British. So I enjoyed it, maybe like a 3.5. I didn't love it, but I see the potential. I'm excited to see what happens next. I also picked up Ascension by Nicholas Binge. This is like a sci-fi thriller that I need to remind myself what not to tell you. Okay, so I knew more about this going in than I think I was supposed to, but that's okay. Basically what happens in this is a mountain appears out of nowhere on Earth. So like taller than any mountain we currently have. Suddenly we have a new mountain. Some sort of agency, organization gathers up a group of people to like study it and figure out what's going on. And our main character, Harold, doesn't know who's hired him, but he has been recruited to join this group. He is a scientist of some sort, I forget. But he's been recruited because someone who was on the last mission knows him. At the beginning of the book, we know Harold is weird. He seems to be maybe psychic, maybe I don't know. He's like creepy, he knows stuff he shouldn't, and he's weird. But then we're flashing back to the story. So he documented this crazy story in a journal, and it's like being published in case it's true, basically. So we go back in time to see Harold's part on this journey. So the first half of the book, I was obsessed. I loved it. It was giving me like 5-star feeling at the beginning of it because I was really enjoying the sci-fi part of it. I loved the investigation. I loved the scientists gathering together, climbing this cold mountain at an accelerated pace because they want to get to the top, but they aren't mountain climbers, and climbing mountains is dangerous, and breathing oxygen is hard to do on mountains, but they're figuring it out, getting through it. But then we're also flashing back to Harold's life and like the mistakes that he feels like he's made. We know about another character that he was in a relationship with and it did not end well. So we're looking back to see what happened there. It was really good at the beginning, but then there was so much weird stuff happening with the mountain that it started to devolve and not make sense, and I stopped enjoying it. Overall, I still really enjoyed the reading experience of it, but I did not like how it ended. I did not like where it went, and I just feel like it had a lot of potential to do better, and the story could have went in a more interesting way. But I feel like they had really big ideas, and the execution fell flat. And also, but there's a plot twist in here that I had secondhand embarrassment for Nicholas Binge because it's so cringy what the reveal was. If you read this, do you remember what that was? Because it gave me the ick. Like, I cannot. It almost made me want to stop reading the book because it's so, I can't tell you what it is. It's a big spoiler. If you want to know, I'll tell you in the comments. But I was truly embarrassed on Nicholas's behalf because it's like a plot twist that a 10-year-old would write. and think it was like mind-blowingly good is really embarrassing. That's one of the main takeaways I'm gonna have from this book, is just remembering that part. But I'm totally in the mood for something like this. I love a sci-fi thriller, and my sister's gonna see me say this and say, okay, then read Jurassic Park. I know, okay, I will. But I'm totally in the mood for this type of thing, like a sci-fi thriller, horror / Stephen King, and like a mystery dark detective story. Like, these books, even though they weren't all 5 stars, are exactly what I'm in the mood for right now. So I'm excited to get into the fall reading. I'll probably have a fall TBR up in a few weeks. I want to plan out what I'm going to read, pick out things like in this mood that I'm in. So if you have books that fit in that genre, in that mood, let me know. But I also read another book. I feel like, did I address what it looks like behind me? If you don't know, I moved about 1 month ago. And I'm not unpacked yet. Okay. I was sick. I was traveling. I was away from home. Like, I've just been busy, and sometimes you have to prioritize, and putting away your stuff and unpacking is not the priority. I'm hoping to get it done in September, but this is where I'm at. And I was like, I can't just not film until I have a good background. If this is what my background looks like, I should just film it. And if I don't want it to look like that anymore, I should clean it. So hopefully you'll see a nicer background soon. I have big plans. I actually ordered some chairs. This is my main living area. My front door is over there. I am going to have like a reading lounge area in this main room. I'm so excited for it. I just want it to be a place to hang out, TV free with my books. And then I have the TV in like a different room tucked away. And I feel like this is going to be my main like living hangout space. But right now it's not, because it's messy. And I can't build my chairs because I don't have anywhere to put the chairs because there's stuff all over the floor. So I'm definitely working on that. That's going to be very exciting. Obviously, I'll bring you along as I organize my bookshelves, as I set up my space. All that's coming. I just have to find the time to do it. But all of that, what was I talking about? Oh, my upcoming TBR. So I do plan on really getting books off of my physical TBR still. Since I've done that reorganizing my bookshelf video and that whole time period, I really don't buy books unless I'm going to immediately read them. I've still bought a good amount, like especially the summer thrillers that I was excited for, but I am having trouble even buying a new book right now because I have so many, which that shouldn't be a revelation. That should be a normal feeling, but I haven't had that feeling before, where I feel like I have enough books, I don't need any more, and I'm really enjoying it. I have not just been randomly shopping. I've been canceling a lot of my pre-orders. So I plan on continuing to tackle the books that I already own and also continue to utilize my library. So that's one of my newest revelations. But back to the books that I read in August. I also read Kingsland by Dwayne Alexander Smith. And this was another like detective story, thriller, murder mystery, but it is exclusively on audio. And it's one of those immersive audio experiences where it kind of sounds like you're watching a movie. I honestly don't even know if I count it as reading. I know we have the whole debate about reading versus listening to an audiobook, but Kingsland is not a novel. It is basically a like TV show script or a movie, because it's just dialogue, all played by different actors, which is really cool, and sound effects. So it feels closer to listening to a show than it does to reading a novel. But it's still a good time, and I still recommend it. It's really fun. I gave it 4 stars. It is, so it's set a little in the future, and there is an island called Kingsland where the United States government has given reparations to Black Americans, and some of them / rich, wealthy people came together to build an island that is for Black people. I think is it mainly Black Americans? I think so. And only Black people can have citizenship there unless they are like married to a Black person, or there's like definitely a lot of race talk about like, mixed race people, and there's so much just interesting conversations when you have a group of people who leave America to be on an island of Black people only. So that's absolutely fascinating. But we have the main storyline, which is people are getting murdered on Kingsland, and Kingsland is like very, very, very secure. There's cameras everywhere. In order to live there, you give up a lot of your like freedoms and privacy, but in exchange for security. So everyone has like trackers, there's cameras everywhere, and you have to like keep up that you're a good citizen and pass these tests and interviews in order to stay there. It's very, very exclusive. But there's a murder, and one of our top, like the United States top FBI investigators, like he specializes in serial killers, gets offered citizenship for him and his family to move to Kingsland if he goes and helps solve this murder spree that's going on. And it was really fun. The fact that we had a murder investigation, and then we had the complications of this family uprooting their life and moving to Kingsland. Our main character is Black. His wife is Latina, so they have a mixed race daughter. The daughter is like dealing with racism at school because in Kingsland, like the darker you are, the blacker you are, the more popular you are, the lighter you are, or more mixed race. There's a lot of prejudice and racism towards them, and it was just so fascinating to read. There's just so many conversations that were interesting. Like just the setup of this world was really cool to read about. I would definitely read more stories set here if that were to happen. I don't think it is, but it was fun. And the murder investigation was a good time, but also the setup, the sound effects, everyone being a different actor, really, really cool. I'm gonna check out more. There's like a collection or a production company that did these that I'm planning on listening to more of because S.A. Cosby has one. I think that's how I originally found this one. I don't know why I picked this one up, but I'm going to be listening to the S.A. Cosby one for sure. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. You can see the theme, the reading theme that I've been in is interesting, and I plan on continuing down this track. But I'm excited for my fall reading. I'm excited for a couple video ideas that I have. Right now for the next couple of weeks, I'm trying to just like finish enjoying summer, read a couple of books off of my summer TBR. And I'm going on a trip to Maine soon. So you can imagine you'll be seeing more of this guy in the future. And yeah, that's what I've been up to. Let me know, what have you been reading? What have you been up to? What book recommendations do you have for me? Have you read anything really good recently? All of those things. So excited to chat with you guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that we're going to be having some more reading, more apartment fixing up coming soon. But until then, I will see you in the next video.